boys and girls from the heads of the world. Daily Metalhead here. Just leaving my hostel right now because I'm heading out to the airport in a couple of minutes so I can check into my flight to Sweden because that's where I'm moving to. I'm moving to Sweden for a month. Yeah, so it's been about 12 days since I last left the UK, so it's been a bit of a holiday going from Pula to Athens and up to Skopje. So now it's time to start a new life in Sweden. Hopefully things go well. I mean, I'm going to be in Sweden for a month. Hopefully I'll get a job. Hopefully a lot of new things will happen. So it's kind of sad to leave the UK 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to come back to the UK for some time, for a while. Just want to see what Sweden's all about. So it's 5 AM in the morning. I'm at Skopje Airport. I've just been enjoying some tiramisu and some coffee. Spending the last of my Macedonian money. Dinars. I never get it right. I mean, it's like Serbia's actually got dinars, but they're not in the Middle East. So this is a heads up. If you're gonna go to and take a taxi to the airport in Skopje, only pay 20 euros. Alright, I missed my airport bus today because nobody told me where the bus was gonna pick me up. I thought it was gonna be at the bus station. It wasn't. So I just drove in a taxi, and the guy's trying to get me to take out 2,000 dinars, and I only had 20 euros and a few hundred dinars. And so we go to the airport. He's saying, no, ATM. I'm like, no, auto bank machine. I'm like, look, no, here's 20 euros, bloody convert it. So that's what I did. So you gotta be wary about people ripping you off, especially if you have to take taxis. I don't like taking taxis, but this flight to Stockholm is only 25 euros, and I'm not gonna miss it, okay? I've only ever missed one flight in my life. So we're flying to Stockholm, and on the top of that hill over there is the Millennium Cross. They installed that a couple of years ago. It's a nice thing that lights up at night in Skopje, but fortunately I've never taken the trip up to visit it in leaving Skopje, Macedonia, Eastern Europe, heading back to the EU, Schengen, Sweden, Western world, Western Europe, Scandinavia, Nordic, better weather. Well, I'm finally in Sweden. This is my 55th country when I came here in December 2016, and 18 months later I'm back to live here. For a while though, just for a while. Here I am, it's 9:30 in the morning, just landed with the passport control, practiced my Swedish, and now I've emigrated to Sweden as a British citizen born in Australia. See, the flag's flying. We're going to see much of that flag in the past for the next month or so. Got my bus ticket for 159 kroners, so now it's so I've just got off the bus at Stockholm Central. Bus is about 159 Swedish krona, or 13 quid. Cheaper if you buy it online, but I wasn't that bothered. I mean, like, if you fly to London and you got on a bus on the day, it's like 12 quid, so it's similar. First I need a transport card for Stockholm, because I don't have one. It's similar to the Oyster card we have in London, or the Opal card for when I lived in Sydney. I need some Swedish money, kronas, and then I need some food now, because it's lunchtime. So, give me a lunch around 12, and then I'll walk to my new house. No, I shouldn't walk to my new house. It's going to take too long. I'll just walk a bit through the city, then take the train. I come to Scandinavia, or Sweden or Norway. I used to try these kick licorice. Favorite ones are the sea salt, but they didn't have any today. But they're 9 kronas, and it's like the cheapest thing I like to buy here. Well, cheap and sweet. I mean, they're much cheaper in like Oslo. They're like 5 Norwegian. Got myself an access card from the 7-Eleven types of shops up here. To get one of these, the card costs 20, and then like it's a minimum spend of 100. So I put like £10. Yeah, 100 kronas on this, and just take me like trips as I like. So see it here. The card tells me. Actually, let's put it in English. That's 30D. What card? I got my Swedish krona crowns. I'm never gonna say that right. I guess let's say right, krona. And I've got myself a cheap treat. A cup of black coffee, a cafe, and a little buller, like a cake right here. So 20 crowns. So roughly £2 back in England though. But yeah, it's a good deal. Ask me, but my mom once said to me on text, some Australian chick of hers went to Sweden and spent 10 Australian bucks on a cup of coffee. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Coffee doesn't cost 10 bucks. Behind me is Stockholm City Hall. I remember this building from last time because my hostel was around the corner from that. On top, you see the 3 crowns. It's like the 3 crowns I'm wearing, like 3 crowns of like Sweden. So the interesting thing about this building is, if you're an immigrant and you come to Sweden and you stay here for 5 years, you can become a Swedish citizen. So today is 29th of June. No, sorry, 29th of June, 2018. 5 years from now, if I've lived in Sweden for 5 years, I can go into that building on one day in the year and become a Swedish citizen and take the oath and pledge allegiance to King Carl, or if he's not around in 5 years, Queen Victoria. Oh, looks like I reached a roadblock since I just came from the central station over there. So, gotta chuck a U. This is the Parliament of Sweden. That's where the government meets. That glass window up there, it's got the famous 3 crowns we've been talking about. So, it's kind of interesting how in Scandinavian countries, like, well, the capital cities like Copenhagen, Stockholm and Oslo, the Parliament is right near the Royal Palace. I mean, look right here. That's the Parliament, and that's the Royal Palace. Unlike how in London, I mean, Buckingham Palace is a bit of a drive from like number 10 or the House of Parliament, but it'll only take a few minutes. So, but I mean, it would be nice if you were like the Prime Minister of Sweden, and you just gotta like walk across the road, visit the King, say hi, tell him what's happening in life. But in Oslo, like, I mean, if you're the Prime Minister, you gotta walk through the amazing park. Just Royal Palace of Sweden, right there. Folks saying hi. I think King Carl Gustaf must be home today. Should be home. But maybe if... because sometimes it's at Buckingham Palace, it's a different flag that flies, so the Queen is not home. Yeah. So, December 2016, I came to Stockholm for the first time. I actually went inside that Royal Palace and got to see some of the rooms. You didn't get to see all the Royal Palace, but just some of the rooms that they've like made into like a museum, which is kind of like creepy to realize that you're actually walking through bedrooms and bathrooms and dining halls, and you see museums of metal that they've given out, have been given for other countries, even for like monarchies that don't exist. They're playing Michael Jackson. Hilarious. How about some Bathory, mate? Some Bathory, some Marduk, or some Entombed, or even Mayhem. Just feel a bit outraged, right? Like, I've just bought another one of these sea salt caramel flavored licorice kick, and it was less than 6 krona. And this beer here, it was like 5.90 krona. So it was like 3 kronas cheaper than like a bottle of soda water. Well, a 600ml bottle of soda water. So in Stockholm, beer is so much cheaper. Well, it's time to take the metro train. I think we'll get on the train at yes. Taking my first metro ride in Stockholm since 2016. Could have walked the way, but there's 3 bridges. So, gonna get off at Stansburg and visit Quathron's grave. Then I go across the road and visit Pelle Lindbergh and Greta Garbo's grave. Leave him some flowers. I mean, hey, I'm wearing my Swedish ice hockey jersey today, so Pelle Lindbergh will be proud of me wearing this. And he'll be proud of me like living in this country. So then after visiting Skado Garden, which is like Wood Cemetery, I'll just go home. Gotta get my key from another pop plant and say hi to my new housemate. Well, I'm the new housemate, but there's a guy from Hong Kong who's living there. Should be interesting though. I've lived with a lot of Chinese people and people from Hong Kong in my life. The funny thing is, like, Hong Kong people, they tend to separate themselves a lot differently from mainland China, because Hong Kong's got everything mainland China doesn't really have. Like, if you're from Hong Kong, you can travel in more countries, and people from mainland... I was gonna go buy some flowers, but I had to look at them, and I was like, nah, I'd rather spend my money on food and flowers. I mean, near Skara Garden, where Greta Garbo is buried, they should be selling flowers there, but it might be a bit cheaper. So this is Sandsborg Skara Garden. So Skyrok or Garden. Skyrok or Garden, yeah. That means cemetery in Swedish. But the one that Greta Garbo is buried in, it's like a wood cemetery. The one Quathron is buried in here, it's not the same, but it's actually Sandsborg, which is like across from the train station over there. I would feel quite honoured if I was to be buried in the cemetery, because I can say to people, yeah, you know, I've been buried in the same cemetery Quathron was buried. Or next door, you could say, yeah, oh, I want to get buried in the same cemetery Greta Garbo is buried. But I go online and I can't seem to find how you buy a plot here. And the interesting fact is, in the grave that Quathron's buried in, there's like 10 other people of 3 different families that have been buried with him. But sadly, since my last visit to Stockholm, Quathron's father passed away in his 60s. So Quathron's been reunited with his father now. So here we have the family plot from Frosberg and Sulling. Don't know what slight growth means. I'll have to look it up. So I'm back at the grave of Quathron, 18 months after his loss in Sweden. A nice person has left 2 sitting chairs here so you can sit down next to Quathron and his father. And, well, somebody's left a heart here. And a few more things like bus, bra. I feel like I'm Swedish. There's a nice heart over here. And we did a good job with the flowers. And someone's got a vase here, so I really should buy some flowers someday while I'm living in Stockholm. Unfortunately, they're taking away all the coins and all the guitar picks from what I remember like last time. Don't know why they put this thing right here. Must be a marker to say someone who's like Hawthorne's father was recently buried here, so it must be a marker to say, oh, bury this person right here. Well, anyway, I'll see you later, Hawthorne. Hope you're rocking hard up there in heaven. You are a really big inspiration to me in my life. You're the reason why I'm now living in Stockholm. Because, let's say, if, I think, Sandy Denny was the reason why I lived in London, Hawthorne's the reason why I now live in Stockholm. I mean, I always tend to move to a city because of an important person. I mean, I moved to Birmingham because it was the home of heavy metal. It's where Black Sabbath and Judas Priest, a couple of guys from Led Zeppelin came from. I moved to London so I could visit Mark Lawler, Keith Moon, Sandy Denny on a regular basis. And now I live in Stockholm so I can check up on Greta Garbo, Pelle Lindbergh and Hawthorne. But as a reminder, I do need to visit Dead for Mayhem. Some silly person has put online that he's buried in Skado Garden across the road. He's not, he's buried somewhere in the south of Stockholm, a bit way further down. I'll have to go visit his grave one day when I got a day off work, or I'm free, or it doesn't cost too much traveling on the trains. You see, the nice thing about cemeteries in Scandinavia, in all these different countries, is that relatives get buried with their ancestors. I mean, look at all these people. This person, Franz, born in 1825, died in 1907, and then it goes all the way down to like, just recently, like, well, these two people are still alive, Bjorn and Birgitta, and then this one, 1909 to 2010, like 101 years old. Like, I once had visions when I was like 27 when I found my family in Middlesbrough. Like, I inspired that I wanted to be buried with my grandparents and great-grandparents in Middlesbrough. But then I fell out with them, and I stopped caring about them. And then I thought, no, I don't want to get buried with my, like, ancestors in Middlesbrough. They never cared about me. None of my Middlesbrough family ever came down to visit me in London. And I don't want to get buried in Australia, because I hate Australia. And I mean, I wouldn't mind having some of my ashes somewhere in England, maybe London, or with one of my cousins in Cambridge. Yeah. But when it comes to think of it, I wonder how much it would cost to buy a plot here. And I mean, the thing is, you probably get like a 99-year lease. Because in the crematoriums in London, they only give you like a 10-year lease. So they say, okay, you die, we'll put your name up on a wall for 10 years. After 10 years, you've got to pay more. Your family's got to pay more every 10 years or so, every 20 years. Otherwise, you take the name off. Anybody coming to Stockholm who wants to visit Pelle Lindbergh, Greta Garbo, or Hawthorne, always remember, Hawthorne, Sandsborg, Skado Garden. Greta Garbo, Pelle Lindbergh, that one over there, Skado Garden. Skado Garden. So seriously, it's going to be hard for me to learn Swedish, but flowers for 20 krona, or 2 quid. Which is quite good. I mean, they're quite small. I mean, in England I could pay about £1 or £2 for a plant like this, but normally in London it's like £5 for roses at like Sainsbury's or the rose shops in London. I could plant this on Hawthorne's grave, but the colours are more suited for Greta Garbo's grave. As for Pelle Lindbergh, well, I'll give him something some other day. So now I've returned to the grave of the most famous Swede of all, Greta Garbo, born 1909 in Stockholm, died in New York City in 1990. It took 9 years to get her ashes back to Swedish soil. So I came here today. This plot right here. Fortunately, I didn't bring a shovel with me, so I'm pretty sure one of the groundskeeper will plant this. God bless you, Greta Garbo, for what you did. So I'm back at the grave of legendary goalkeeper of Sweden, Pelle Lindberg, and 2 Philadelphia Flyers fans have been lovely enough to leave ice hockey pucks on his grave. It's the interesting thing when I look that Pele died like 8 days before I was born, because 1985 was the year I was born in that month of November. But then, like, less than 2 years after he died, his sister died of cancer. And if you look around the back, his parents are also buried here, so the Lindbergh family all buried together, like the way Scandinavians are always buried together. And if this was the winter months of like October till March, this would all be dark right now. But being in Sweden and Norway, you get the midnight sun. I mean, the sun's not going to get you down to bed until like 10 or maybe midnight. I mean, I've seen photographs of a guy in Norway playing basketball at midnight in his own country. Yeah, so my new house isn't far from here, but it is a bit of a walk. But I mean, if I walk, I save money though. Because like if I walk from here to my new house, I'll save myself another 44 krona a single ticket. Something that like I don't really want to pay, because I only paid like, well, 44 krona to get from a metro station to Sandsburg. And so like these days, since I've just like moved here and I haven't got a job yet, I'm gonna start saving. Guys and girls and nerds of the world, this is it. I've got my own room. After a whole year living in London hostels, I have moved to Sweden. I'm staying in Stockholm for a month, and I'm hoping for big things. So, but this is the place I'm going to be living in. Look at this. I got a guy from Hong Kong. He's my housemate. He's going out for the day, so I don't know when he's back. There's no TV here. That's a keg. So I'm used to living on TV. So got a good kitchen. Oh. And look, nature out there, man. Like, no big cities, no noisy neighbours, just peace and quiet. And I'm still in Stockholm. I love it. It's fantastic. You know, and I got this for a really good price. I'm not going to tell you how much, but it was much cheaper than what I was once offered to live in like London. I could tell you that it was like less than £400 sterling a month. And that's this room and the whole use of the rest of the house.